ready for Hollywood? Open the pod bay doors. Oh, hello there. I am Stan the Movie Man. This is my weekly movie review. Oh, by the way, a belated Merry Christmas. This week I went to see two new movies. The first is The Big Short. It stars Christian Bale, Steve Carell, also Ryan Gosling, Brad Pitt, and about a billion other people. It is the story of the economic meltdown that started in 2007 with the housing bubble bursting that then later spread through the rest of the economy in 2008. It is how through inaction, ignorance, greed, and lax regulation, among other things, the banking industry was able to put together all of these mortgages, some of which were fine, others of which were in very bad shape and had flexible interest rates which were due to go up in the second quarter of 2007. It's about how this guy named Michael Burry, played by Christian Bale, figured out that the economy was going to collapse, and he created this kind of investment fund that was betting on the collapse of the housing market. Everybody in banking thought he was crazy and did everything they could to make sure he failed. However, well, we know what happened. And various other people figure out or find out what he's doing and get in on the bandwagon. The problem is the only way they make money is if the United States and practically the entire world economy collapses. They did, they did, and apparently we didn't learn any lessons. The movie's kind of weird. It is, the characters will talk to the camera, and they'll bring in celebrities to explain very complicated parts of the financial side of it. For instance, Margot Robbie is in a bubble bath, drinking champagne, explaining an aspect. Also, you have Michael Bourdain, the celebrity chef, and Michael Bourdain, is that his name? Anyway, the celebrity chef guy named Bourdain, and Selena Gomez talking about things as well. It's funny, but it is also a movie that if you pay attention to it, will make you furious and scared, because the possibility of this happening again is very real. There are things about the story that I found a little annoying. For instance, Steve Carell's character, a guy named Mark Baum, is constantly angry, constantly yelling at people, and he wore on my nerves after a little while, and I can't imagine if he was like that in real life, because most of these characters are based on real people, that he would be able to start a business and keep employees over the long haul with the way he behaves. Now, granted, there is some backstory to that. It involves a personal tragedy. But other than that, I think the it's very funny, and it is very good. It's entertaining, although you have to pay attention, because if you don't, you will be completely lost, not understand why what they're talking about is such a big deal. I'm giving it 4 stars. Now, I went to the 70mm roadshow of The Hateful Eight, Quentin Tarantino's 8th movie. Made a very big deal about that. It's starring Samuel L. Jackson, Kurt Russell, Jennifer Jason Leigh, Walton Goggins, I knew I'd mess up his name, and many more. It is a story of John the Hangman Ruth, played by Kurt Russell, who is transporting Daisy Domergue, played by Jennifer Jason Leigh, to Red Rock in order for her to be hanged. And along the way, he runs into various cast of characters. They're on this stagecoach rolling through the mountains of Wyoming, and they're caught in a blizzard, so they end up stopping at this way station. And the hateful part of the Hateful Eight, are the total collection of people who are there in the way station waiting out the blizzard, and that somebody is there to try to release Daisy from her chains. At least that's what Ruth believes. Naturally, it being a Quentin Tarantino joint, there's going to be a lot of death and blood and gore, and there is. This particular cut of the movie is over 3 hours long, and it includes a intermission in the middle. And the killing really doesn't get cranked up until the second half of the movie, at least in the 70mm version. The regular version that everyone else will see will be somewhat shorter, still clocking in at well over 2.5 hours. Plan your fluids carefully. And so naturally, since I saw this version, I'm rating and reviewing this version, and it's too long. Granted, the dialogue in the film is almost like listening to poetry. The way these people talk, even though they use tons of expletives and more than a few racial epithets, the way they speak, the meter, what is said is almost like listening to poetry. But again, it's way too long. For the payoff at the end, it for me wasn't quite worth the journey. Now, granted, I am reviewing a cut that is 20 minutes longer than what the rest of the world will see. I did also get this nice little booklet here that lists all of the characters with the actors, some nice pictures and behind-the-scenes stuff from the set. So that was nice. But still, the film is just really long, not unlike this review. While it delivers a conclusion, it is not the kind of conclusion that felt like the audience deserved for prodding through all of this stuff that occurs. While it is entertaining and it's funny, it's also extraordinarily gory, and lots of blood, lots of shooting. That said, it is an entertaining film, and if you love Tarantino, this is about as Tarantino a movie as he has ever made. So I'd like to see the shorter version to see if it feels like there's a better conclusion, a more satisfying conclusion to the film. But if you love Tarantino, by all means, see The Hateful Eight. I'm giving the 70mm version 3 stars. It is just too long, and there's a lot of wasted space in that movie. Go to StanTheMovieMan.com to read my complete review, and follow me on Twitter @MovieManStan. You can also send emails to me, StanTheMovieMan@Comcast.net. Till next time, toodles.